It is coming up to 18 months since the Nike Phantom GX2 and Lunar 2 launched. So that seems like a great moment to have a look. Are these still a fantastic boot? Are they Nike's best boot, or do they desperately need replacing and we need to have a look at something else? Let's start with the elephant in the room, the thing that seems to be endlessly talked about, which is the fact that Gripnet, which is what the upper is made out of, is difficult to clean. Yes, this is absolutely a fact. It just is. You can see here that I've done literally the most I possibly can, and I still have a very discolored upper here compared to my Lunar, which I haven't used as much, which just has a couple of markings. So yeah, it's difficult to clean. That's just how it is. Check out my man Substance Football. He's done a whole video on cleaning the Mercurials and the GXs in Gripnet. But if it's a huge deal for you, probably go and buy the Blackout. I haven't got a solution for you. It's a thing. It's been out for 18 months. It's gonna happen to most people. The Gripnet upper itself, though, is still absolutely fantastic. This is one of Nike's best innovations in quite some time. I love Gripnet. I think Gripnet is absolutely amazing. Now, something you should consider is that over time, it does become a little less grippy. This one, for example, is quite simply just less grippy than this one. I don't know if you can actually notice that from me doing a little ASMR. However, I don't think the difference is substantial enough for it to be a big long-term problem, particularly if you take care of them as best as you possibly can. And do bear in mind that I have put these through some pretty rigorous cleaning experiments to see what would happen. So we're not going to worry about that too much. Gripnet stays effective even when it gets dirty. It's a very good material. Let's talk about the outsole. So this is the Cyclone 360 outsole, which seems to divide opinion. I quite like it. I don't really have a problem with it at all. But how does it fare over time? Well, for starters, you've still got that kind of little bit of a bend point in the middle, which I don't particularly love, but that hasn't weakened over time, which I think is really interesting. So what you'll generally find is that boots, as they're worn over time, tend to get that little bit weaker and they'll bend and flex a little bit more. It's not the case with the GX and the Lunar. It's basically the same after very little use and a lot of use. So in terms of durability of the outsole, really no problems. And the way that it's built, you can see that this one's been almost abused a little bit. It's been walked on concrete and all kinds of things, and the studs have held up really, really nicely. There's no cracking, there's nothing coming off, there's no real issues, even when we compare it to what is almost an entirely new pair. So outsole durability has held up really, really well. Your thoughts on whether you like the Cyclone 360 or not, that's up to you. I think it is decent, and I've not even had any real issues with it using it on AG, but hey, we don't recommend FG on AG. Warranties and injuries and all that kind of stuff. Grab the AG option, and the AG option is actually good for FG and AG if you want a multi-surface choice. Let's talk about the fit. So firstly, sizing, if you're still looking to buy a pair now. I have these in a US 8, UK 7, which is the size that I would normally buy my Nike boots in, and that's absolutely what I recommend you go out and do. And I've said this multiple times, this has been my recommendation over and over again for the last 18 months. If you are looking for a wide fit boot, and especially a Nike wide fit boot, this is the boot to buy. This is a great option for people with wide feet, particularly a wide midfoot. And as far as Nike boots go, this is your jam if you want a wide fitting boot. If you have a narrower foot, you'll probably be okay, but if you have a very narrow foot, this might be one to avoid. Go and pick up the Mercurial instead, which is that little bit tighter on the last, although has a little more volume. With regards to the comfort, the upper breaks in initially to be a bit softer, so you still get a soft out the box, but then it gets a little bit softer as you break it in. But you can see again here, there's not a huge amount of difference between my barely worn pair and my worn pair. So you're not going to get it to a point where it almost becomes too soft, starts to lose structure, which is something I've been quite impressed by because it is essentially a full knit, exposed knit. It's really held on to a lot of that structure nicely, but that does mean it hasn't kind of, what am I trying to say? It hasn't molded in or broken in to be like butter, but that's completely fine because it's retained structure, it's retained shape, it's retained its ability to give you good lockdown, and it does just do a good job of slightly molding to the shape of your foot as you wear it over and over again, and I'm going to take that as a positive. So overall, the question becomes, is this something that you should still pick up 18 months later, and has it held up over those 18 months? Well, the answer is yes, it's absolutely held up. I've actually been very pleased with how well this has held up. And is this something that you should still pick up now? I think this is absolutely still something you should pick up. We all know that there's going to be a replacement for this coming very, very soon from Nike. And personally, I don't think that they need to do that. I'm a big advocate for companies keeping lines, silos for that little bit longer. Like, you know, there's a company, another company that doesn't have swoosh, that changes boots every like 2 minutes, at least every 12 months. It's just too regular. And I think Nike could have got another 6 months out of this because it really is a great boot and we didn't need to get a brand new one. However, am I looking forward to the new one? Yes. Am I going to buy it? Yes. Do you want to see the review? Yes. Hit subscribe. I'll drop it here when it is available. And if you want to see my initial thoughts and compare how I feel about this now to then, this is your video just here.